Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to be analysing the live price action for EU and DXY to see what opportunities may be available for today. You're going to see my strategy and my analysis, so if you're interested in those then please stick around. Okay, we're starting off here on the daily. As always, EU is on the top, DXY is on the bottom. Starting out zoomed out for a moment just to show you the larger picture of this price action. So what's the daily showing us? Well, yesterday we had a bullish day, right? But why we're zoomed out is so we can show we've reached up above this previous high here, right? So took the buy side liquidity above this high, and we've also gone and filled a daily imbalance, okay? So imbalance filled, and we've slightly gone into this one. So a lot of buy side liquidity and POIs met yesterday, created that higher high as well. And we can just clearly see this bullish price action, okay? So we have this low to this high, high, low, high, 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 low, now high, high. Okay, so clearly daily is in a bullish trend at the moment. Now to zoom back in on price, we also have our SMC divergence, right? From this high to this higher high, where we have this low to this higher low on DXY, because DXY refused to make that lower low at this time where that previous weekly low is. So what does that mean? That indicates possible dollar strength, okay? And that would indicate also some weakness from this area from mitigating this buy side liquidity. We left behind a huge imbalance here on the daily on both, so that may be some sort of short-term move to pull back into, right, which is being indicated by this SMC divergence. So I hope that's clear for you. Our previous daily highs and lows are still intact at the moment for buy side and sell side liquidity, and on our current day we haven't moved much. I believe it's also a French and Italian bank holiday, so we'll see if that affects our price action. So that's enough on the daily. Let's go down to the 4 hour and see what that shows us. So again, we have this SMC divergence, right, where this low stayed intact, and we have this high low, right, to this high and high high. We are within a premium of this new 4 hour leg, right, where we have this low, or even if you count it as this low, to this high, right? When you count legs, it's good to be consistent with your own approach, but you may see others do it differently. So you may see someone draw it from here to here, or from here to here, or even maybe somebody else from here to up there. But that's beside the point. Just have your own consistent approach. Either way, I think it's fairly obvious that we are in a premium at the moment. So the way I see it is down towards the discount, we have draws on price. Okay, so bullish leg, draw on price down to the discount. We've taken loads of buy side liquidity. We have early signs of possible weakness with our divergence. We have this gap below, which once filled may provide some sort of support here. So it's something worth keeping your eye on. But there are further price draws below, which I think are valid for price to come into. If we analyze the candles themselves, we have this nice high test candle here, which looks nice, right, to round off the top to show possible resistance and that price may need to pull back. Right, then we have our overnight and evening candles. So unsurprisingly, the way I see it just from looking at possible 4 hour buys is bearish, because we have a bullish leg, we're in a premium, SMC divergence, plenty of buy side liquidity, and those higher time frame daily imbalances has been filled, and it's only natural for me to think price should come down to some sort of discount. If we look over at DXY, of course we have that bearish move here, we're in some sort of discount. We obviously have the SMC divergence, which may indicate some strength will come into the market, and we have our draws on price above on the 4 hour with these imbalances and order block. So if EU is to draw down to a discount, I would imagine for DXY to also push into more of a premium of this internal leg here, right? Maybe mitigate this 4 hour order block as a POI here, while we also mitigate something within a discount here to continue our bullish trend and to continue that bearish trend. So that's how I'm reading price on the 4 hour from its structure. So I believe those line up. We'll just be waiting for further confluence, right, to trade with the bias. So let's go down to the 1 hour, see if that agrees with what I'm getting from the 4 hour. So a couple of things to look at here on the 1 hour. It's not massively different from the 4 hour. However, I've also lined out this 1 hour POI, which was where that 4 hour imbalance fill would be, that I said may provide some sort of support. So with the 1 hour, same as 4 hour, you could also read possibly the leg from this low to this high, right? Whichever price leg you think it may be working in, or this low here. Okay, so this might be a leg, or you can count the leg from down here to up here. The same thinking for me still applies, in that we're in a premium and that we may pull back further, even if it's just to this support area here. All right, so this could be a draw on price, and so could these discount POIs below here with plenty of imbalances. Now, what am I thinking about when I look at this 1 hour? I still want to short. However, I would be conscious of this area here. Once we get into this area here, I would see how the lower time frame price action changes or doesn't change. I would possibly look for longs here if it does shift to go long again, right? Or I'd wait for this area to be broken and for price to push through it before I continue shorting. But I'm good to short down into this area, in my opinion, right? Because that's the next best level of higher time frame support that I see on the 1 hour and 4 hour. So pretty similar to the 4 hour in terms of where I see price going, right? But there's now a stack of confluences here that may provide support with the 1 hour order block. So I'll be very conscious of that as well. And I'd want to be out of my shorts if possible before this point here. All right, now price maybe just blast through it down to these imbalances, which I'm fine with as well. Okay, and on DXY, similar story, imbalances up here in a premium. We're a bit closer to this, the high here that represents this low than we are on EU. So possibly some divergence later. If this area shows us support, we may have taken a buy side liquidity here, and EU showing strength with a higher low there. But that's the future. I don't want to get too much into that. I'm just following my narrative of premium towards discount, towards these high time frame POIs, possibly on the lookout for longs from this area, depending on the price action, but I'm good to short down into this area here. On the lower time frame, no doubt this will be a sell side liquidity trend line, and we may have taken some buy side liquidity from the top of Asia. So we'll see that in a moment. So I hope that's clear. Any questions, let me know. Let's go down to the M15, see if there's any opportunities for this morning. Right, so on the M15, as I mentioned, this Asia price action, which has created sell side liquidity trend line, which is very clear. We came up, London has now swept Frankfurt and these Asia session highs. Maybe another high would have been nicer, but we'll see what price action does with that buy side liquidity there. Right, you know my bias already is to go short, at least down into this area, so I think this looks very good, and it'll be with that London Asia cycle where we've taken the buy side liquidity, break down, head towards the other side of it. So I think that's very clear to me at the moment, possible opportunity for this morning. On DXY we see the same. It's left this same trend line here. We have a previous daily high buy side liquidity target as well, and clearly we've taken the sell side liquidity below that Asia range in the London Open. So we have those draws on price here, and of course lower down. So I think that looks good. It may happen on the M15, but I think this would look better to explain on the M5. So let's go down to that. Great, so the M5 has given me a bit more of what I want to see at the moment. So even if I just slightly move this over, you can see here where this recent high wicked above that last high. So we've got internal buy side liquidity. Now we have this trend line here where we've gone above, and we just need to wait for a break of structure and hopefully some momentum, right? We may break structure here, right, which should be good enough, but then this structure here would be probably a bit more clearer. So some sort of break of structure around this area here would be what I'm waiting for now, which price hopefully is doing. So we want to see price do this, pull back to our lower time frame order block with imbalance hopefully, to then trade down, personally for me, to the bottom of Asia, but anywhere towards this 1 hour POI. Possible order block with imbalance here, possible pullback with inducement, right, if it's corrective around this area here. Again, for those that are not familiar, an inducement would just be, you know, if we leave a little high here as like a buy side liquidity to be swept before we go down, We've taken buy side liquidity already. We've swept internal highs again, possibly before this breakdown. We'll see if that happens. And then I would just set my order somewhere around here, stop loss just above the high, to trade down wherever your strategy tells you to. We've even got some small internal SMC divergence here on DXY. You can see we've got this low with this high low here. Right, so preferably we want to see DXY also gain some momentum, break above its highs here, pull back down to then come higher for this trend line here and probably towards its previous daily high. So that's how I'm reading this. Price is moving a bit slow at the moment. That could be due to the bank holidays. So hopefully some momentum will come into the market and it will pull back so that we can also capture it. So I do think this looks really good for a short as long as we get that decent breakdown and pullback. Right, I would love to target this trend line. Now in terms of longs, even though I'm preferring the short bias for now, for me that would have to be down here. I'd want price to come into this. Maybe it would make some structure down below here, might even sweep its own internal structure and then break above. Right, break of structure clearly, preferably on the M15 because we do still have the imbalances below to draw price. And then I would look for something similar to go back up with the trend. Right, for now I'm concentrating on this area here to go short, but if order flow switches I may look into longs on another day or later on today. So I hope that was clear, I hope that made sense and brought value. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe and I'll see you guys soon.